I knew I was in Cali on assignment, and God wasn't gonna release me until my assignment was over. What up y'all, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna be doing a quick get ready with me while I talk a little bit about why I decided to move to Dallas and you know, all that good stuff. So I'm not gonna lie, like I'm a little tired, so my eyes is looking a little, you know, crazy, and then I got this pimple. So I'm gonna start with this BB. A lot of people have been asking me, like, what made you decide to move to Dallas? You know, do you have family there? All this other stuff. And like, Dallas just seems so random. So what made you want to move there? And to be honest, Texas was not on my radar a few years ago. Like, I moved from Detroit to California about 4 years ago. Really because my dad, it was his idea first, because you know, he's an actor, comedian, all of that stuff. So he wanted to move to Dallas. I mean, not Dallas, I'm sorry. He wanted to move to California. And pretty much the whole family was like, well, we want to go, you know, you're not about to just leave us in Michigan, cold Michigan. So when I moved to Cali, I didn't feel like it was home. You get what I'm saying? Like, it just kind of felt like, okay, I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna learn more about fashion, and I'm gonna learn more about the clothing, you know, fashion industry, TV and film industry, and you know, eventually I'm gonna move somewhere else. Like, I never intended on being in California for a long period of time. The whole time I was there, I was praying like, Lord, when are you gonna release me to leave? Like, when is my assignment here gonna be done? Because that's what it was. The first 2 years I was more so focused on doing my assignment, and I feel like I did that, working on American Idol, working on Loreal, working for a clothing line, you know, learning and growing my brand, getting mentors. Like, I literally, everything I wanted to do in Cali, I did. About 2 to 3 years after being there, I kind of started feeling like, okay, like I've done X amount of things, I'm kind of ready to get somewhere where it's more affordable and the culture is a little bit more like, I guess, I don't know, Cali is just very like, I wouldn't say it's a place where you just want to settle down and raise a family. It's not like that. It's more of like a get in, get out, get your money and leave kind of place. That's, at least for me, that's what it gave. So you know, around year 2 to 3, I was just like, okay, I'm ready to like find somewhere where I want to go. And that's when it kind of got tricky for me, because I was just like, okay, well, do I want to go back to Detroit? Because I was doing really well out there. I kind of reached a brick wall when it came to fashion, but now I know what I need to know about fashion. So should I go back home? Should I go to the South? I mean, my mom lives in Atlanta. Georgia was at the top of my list, and it was a point in time where I was like convinced that I was going to Atlanta. You couldn't tell me that I wasn't going to Atlanta. But I went there. Long story short, I went to visit just to see, like, okay, God, I want you to speak to me. I want you to like tell me where I'm supposed to be, and I'm gonna go to Atlanta and I'm gonna visit. And if that's where you know, have for me to go, then like, you know, confirm it. That's how I'll be talking to God. Like, if this is what you want me to do, Lord, you're gonna have to confirm it. So that's the conversation I had with God before I went to Atlanta to visit. Y'all, when I got there, the Holy Spirit was like, no, this ain't it. And I'm like, are you sure, God? Like, are you sure? This is my, you know, everybody's here. My sisters, my brothers, like my mom. I got friends down there, family, other family. Like, are you sure, Lord? The Holy Spirit was just straight up like, no, this ain't it. And then COVID happened. And then I almost got stuck in Atlanta because I was down there visiting while the COVID thing like first popped off. And I was like, well, that's how I really knew I wasn't gonna be in the A, because I'm like, I don't want to get stuck down here, you know. Let me you know, get out of here. So I got the next flight out at 6 a.m. and I actually went back home to Detroit to be with my family, because I'm like, well, if I'm gonna get stuck somewhere, you know, when COVID first happened, we didn't know how long stuff was gonna be closed. So I'm like, well, if I'm gonna get stuck somewhere, I'd rather be stuck, you know, in Michigan with my family. So while I was in Michigan, I was praying about that. Like, okay, Lord, this feels right. You know, I came here in a crisis and my family is here for me and I got friends here. So, you know, and this is where I'm from. So should I be here? And I was praying about that, and I didn't hear anything. All I heard was, after a while, I heard, go back to California. You got work that need to be finished there. I'm like, oh my gosh, I do not. Like, when I tell y'all I was so ready to leave Cali, like, it got to a point where, like, I couldn't wait to leave. I didn't want nothing to do with it. It was just bad. And not bad, but it was just like, I was ready for my assignment there to be over. You get what I'm saying? Like, I was ready to just really get somewhere. Finally, I went back to Cali, and some supernatural stuff started happening. Like, I won't go into all of it now, but long story short, I got blessed with like a bunch of free fabric, and I did my last collection in Cali, and it did well. Like, clothes was selling more than I ever had in my entire, like, owning a business, time of owning a business. And it was just like, okay, so maybe I was supposed to come back to Cali. But then later on that year, I would say the end of 2020, I started getting that feeling again. Like, okay, Lord, I came back here when you told me to come back here, and I did what you told me to do, and I got blessed, and I thank you for that. But this still don't feel like home. It still feels like you sent me here on assignment. And that's when God gave me a 90-day plan. He was like, he didn't even really reveal to me where I was going yet. He was just like, 90 days, I need you to do this list of things. And he just started downloading, and I'm like, okay, well, let me just write this down. And literally, God gave me a whole 90-day plan on, like, moving, like, preparing me to move, because I had never lived on my own. I was living with my dad at the time. I had been living with my dad for like 7 years, fresh out of high school, fresh out of my first semester of college, technically. So I don't know nothing about living by myself. So God literally downloaded a 90-day plan that consisted of just multiple things, like get your credit together. It was like I had to save a certain amount of money, and I forgot what all was on there, but it was like, you know, just stuff like that he gave me. Like, it was like a strategic list that just came to me. So I immediately typed out the list, I taped it to my wall, and then I just got serious about getting the stuff knocked off the list. And it was like, some of the stuff I didn't even have to do. Some of the stuff God like brought everything into alignment. Like, I didn't even, some of the stuff I wrote down, like, he took care of it for me. And I was just like, okay, I know it's you. And you know what's crazy? I know it's from God, because first of all, God confirms his word in the mouths of 2 or 3 witnesses. Like, when it's God, you hear it more than one time. So right after I made that 90-day plan, my dad wanted to have a meeting. And my 90-day plan started sometime in December, but the last day of it was March 1st. That was like the last day of the plan. So I would say like 2-3 days after I made this 90-day plan, my dad called a meeting, and he was like, I just want to let you guys know, like, I don't know what your plans are, but all I know is around March 1st, you know, it's gonna be a shift happening and we're probably gonna be relocating. And I was just like, he was like, I don't know if you want to get your own place or what, but you know, I'm gonna be ready to like make some moves by March 1st. And I was just like that's crazy, because, and I didn't say it right then and there, but I'm thinking in my head like, March 1st, that's the last day of my 90-day plan that God gave me. So it was just like, when he said that, this thing will not go away. Like, come on now, do I gotta use some full coverage? Like, what's up? When he said that, I just knew, oh, I shouldn't have did that. I'm trying to cover up this freaking pimple, but clearly I'm unsuccessful. When he said that, I just knew. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's God. God is definitely releasing me. Like, and I say releasing me because I knew I was in Cali on assignment, and God wasn't gonna release me until my assignment was over. So when my dad said that, I knew. I was like, okay, yeah, God finna release me and I'm finna go somewhere. Now where, I didn't know yet. I knew it wasn't gonna be Atlanta. And then my grandma had moved here. My grandparents moved here maybe 6 months prior to that. They moved to Dallas. And I was just like, they kept advocating for Dallas so hard. Like every other day my grandma was calling me like, yeah, and we went here and it was just so amazing, and we just love it here. And you know, she was just advocating for it so heavy, and I'm just like, yeah, okay. Like, I never told her anything. I never, you know, confirmed any plans, because I really didn't know for real, you know. So I just kind of started looking at some places in Dallas, and I was like, oh yeah, them prices look real good, you know. But I still didn't know. I was looking in Houston. I was looking at places in Georgia. I was even looking in Detroit. Like, I was just looking everywhere. I just was like, you know, keeping my options open. And then it got down to like, okay, I know I'm not supposed to go to Georgia because God said no. Michigan, like going back to Detroit, it didn't feel right now at this moment. Dallas just felt right. Like, it felt right, and everything just lined up. And I was just like, okay, Lord, well, if you want me to go to Dallas, I'm gonna apply for an apartment, and you know, if it's your will, then you're gonna allow everything to flow. So long story short, like, applied for an apartment, got approved, like literally in my price range, like under what I was expecting to pay. My grandparents actually came to Cali. They didn't even know we was about to ride back with them, but they came to Cali to visit. She look cuter than me. She might not do it for you, little nigga. What? We're moving to Texas. Oh, really? Yep, so we'll be going back with you guys next week. Woo! And I was like, guess what, guys? I'm going back to Dallas with y'all. He was like, what? No, you lying. You lying. You not for real. I was like, no, I'm for real. Like, I'm going back to Dallas with y'all. Me and my cousin. It was like, yeah, we coming back with y'all. They was like, what? So it was just perfect. Like, they helped us move. My grandpa, as y'all can see in my moving video, my grandpa helped us pack up our U-Haul truck. My grandpa and my dad. And that was another thing, is like, I had my dad's blessing too, because my therapist was telling me, like, when you do finally decide to move out, you definitely want to make sure you have the blessing of the people who love and care about you the most, because, you know, my dad has been my covering for so long, and now I'm about to like leave his house. So he was like, you know, you want to make sure you have his blessing. And I did. He was like, oh yeah, like Dallas seemed like a good move. And then it just, I'm telling you, everything just lined up. Like, I didn't have to force nothing. God, he had been working on me with that 90-day plan, so I didn't really, I had everything I needed. The money, the credit, we had already got approved. I think that when you're in the will of God, everything just has a flow. And that's literally how it was moving here. It was just a flow. Like, I can't even explain it. I say releasing me because I knew I was in Cali on assignment, and God wasn't gonna release me until my assignment was over. So all I'm gonna say is God wanted me to be here, and he showed me in multiple ways on multiple occasions that like it was time for me to go, and this is the place where he wanted me to be. And I'm all about like moving when he say move, because I need them blessings. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much that. And he just, I'm telling y'all, like, as soon as I got here, everything just flowed. You know, everything that I was worrying or concerned about, God just worked it out. He really did. I love it here. I can actually afford to have a social life. Like, in Cali, I'm not gonna hold y'all up. Like, I low-key couldn't even afford to have a social life because it was just so expensive out there. Like, too expensive. So I'm trying to go and blend in everything. We used the locator. I don't know if you guys ever heard of like a locator before, but, or an apartment locator. But I used the apartment locator and just told her everything I wanted. Like, I want this, I want a pool, I want a gym. This looks so funny. I want a gym, I want a pool, I want all that. And she literally, she sent over a list of places that had everything. Like, and then I applied, and she was like, you know, when you get approved, if you mention my name on your application, I'll get you a free move. So not only did I move in and got favor with the move in, like crazy favor with the whole move in process, but we got a free 2-hour move. Like, they just sent movers over here to help us unpack our U-Haul thing for free. Like, you can't tell me God is not good. And I just really want this whole move to be a testament of like, when you follow God and you do things his way, he'll bless you. Like, he'll take care of the rest. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even like me preaching or nothing like that, but that's just like, this is just me telling my story. You know, I listened, I prayed, I asked God what he wanted me to do. He gave me a 90-day plan. I followed it to the best of my ability. I wasn't perfect. I didn't hit every single point perfectly, but I followed the plan as best as I could. And he blessed me with a like amazing place. And this is my first place. Like, I never lived on my own before. So for it to be like this bomb and just everything I could ever imagine in the first place, it's just such a blessing. And I just want to keep, I'm like, dang, if I did it like your way and you did it like this for me, like, I want to keep seeing what that's like. Like, I want to keep doing things God's way and see what happens. Like, that's really how I feel. And everything just falling in line for me even after I got here is just like, it's just a testament of his grace and his mercy. And I'm just like, well, let me just get in alignment with what you got going on, because clearly your plans is way better than my ideas. And it's like, no shade to anybody else or any other state, but I just couldn't imagine going anywhere else. Like, I couldn't imagine being anywhere else right now. And bam, we're done. Nothing too crazy, you know, something light, quick. I got this clip in my head because I've been letting my little twisties dry. This is my favorite little protective style. It's just so quick and easy. But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, definitely give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.